Hi, my name is Dr. Cheryl Meyer, and today I'm going to teach you about the king path that we can learn from the three kings, the three wise men, if you want to call it that. It doesn't matter what your religion is. I welcome all people here. There's a path that was just like shown to me in a vision. It's just a vehicle to teach this information. I am a psychologist for the last 20 plus years and also a licensed lay minister. And so I've studied lots of theology. But I've been looking at a lot of things about manifesting and, lack and abundance and that mentality. And I was just sitting in a service and it's the middle of the week, and I was just contemplating the wise men and how they went to Herod. And Herod was the king at the time, right? And Herod said, the three wise men were three kings, we three kings of Orientar. There were three kings from the East. So they weren't even of the Jewish religion or Christian religion. Christianity hadn't been made yet. I could say a lot about that, but they were these wise kings from the East, and they left everything to come and follow the star because they had a knowing. They looked to something higher than just was given to them in their kingdom, the earthly kingdom that they had. Now Herod, when they came, they were just like, where's the king? You guys are so close to it. It was only a few miles from where Herod was, and they didn't even know where the king was to be born. And so Herod, I'll get to the symbolism of this. We're going to the symbolism of this, and I only have a few minutes, so we're going to make this really quick. All right, so prepare to go really deep with me really quickly, so that you can have abundance in your own life and know what your true path is. This is like light years beyond therapy, in my own opinion. And I've been doing therapy for people for like 20 years, more than that, like I said. So hold on tight and be in your deepest self here. You have to hear this with different ears than you normally have in your everyday life, like meditative ears, because I got it through a meditation. I'm in this committed place where I let go of everything that I could possibly think to let go of, and more. And I've surrendered that. And so it's kind of like if you just woke up from a nightmare and you realize you were still addicted to something that you didn't, that you tried to get off your back, like what's it called? The monkey on your back, over and over and over again. And then it's like another layer is revealed to you. Do you want to surrender this? This is what divine love, God, universe, Christ, how you understand it, asks of you. It asks of you. It's like step one in AA. I came to believe a power greater than myself can restore me to sanity. It's more than sanity. What's being offered you is way more than sanity. It's psychological, mental, physical freedom. I'm always flexing my arm now because it's like I lost all this weight. Let's see if this is it. Yeah, look, I know. Went from a size, this is a size 12 over there, to a size 4 in 11 months. I think it's like 45 pounds if you understand in pounds. But anyway, all I'm saying is real transformation can take place, and not only physical transformation, but a deep richness of life where you really, really get to move into joy. And you're like, how can this happen for me? It can happen for you. I know it can. But if you want psychological help, then go find a psychologist if you want that. I'm speaking as a person, as Cheryl Meyer, with all my experience and my licenses and all that. I'm speaking as someone that has that, but just as a person to you, because I can't be your psychologist on YouTube or Instagram or social media. It just doesn't work that way. So anyway, going back to the kings. The kings left everything to come find the Christ. Why did they do this? Why then, when Herod was there, Herod said, oh, well, here, the prophets say he's going to be in Bethlehem, and the star had disappeared for a little while. And so the Magi means great. Well, that's megalos. Magi comes from like the word from magic, but it's strength. It's an ability. It's, people call it magic, but if you know how to do the magic trick, it's not magic. And so we're not talking about anything dark here, because I don't want to enter into anything like that. We're talking about moving out of your egotism into your soul self, into your higher knowing, into your intuition. That means inner knowing, intuition. And so the kings knew somehow. The kings from the east, they studied the stars. I don't know what all they studied, but they were wise, and they were wise enough to know to seek the king that was going to be born, that the Buddha spoke of. The Buddha, this is not for me to convince you in your mind, because I'm not about that. But I know that the Buddha, somewhere it's recorded that he predicted that the Christ was going to come. And so you get to enter into that mystery. I'm not going to tell you everything that you have to think about all this. All I'm speaking of is what was brought to me today, and from all my past experience, that I'm able to interpret what was brought to me today. Is these wise men, they showed how to be the true king and the true queen in your life. Herod was a king, right, on the external, and so were they in physical form. They were all three kings. And Herod said, "Oh, okay. Well, we asked the scribes and the Pharisees and the people that wrote down the law, and they said, he's to be born from David in the town of Bethlehem." And there happened to be a census at the time, and so Joseph and Mary went to Bethlehem because they were following the rules of the land. In that case, they didn't go against the rules of God for them to be counted in a census. And so she was in the town of David. She was from the lineage of King David, and so was Joseph. And Jesus was born from her. Whether you understand this or not, you can just still take the metaphysical meaning of this, the ego meaning of this, so that you can grow. I want everyone to be free, and I don't have to push a religion on anybody at all. And so the Herod said, as soon as you find him, come back and tell me where he is so that I can come worship him too. And so they took him in good faith, but then they went to go see the Christ, and they broke their swords. Or one of them did, is if you read the legends. But if you read the scripture, they came and they bowed to him and they gave him 3 gifts: gold, frankincense, myrrh. Because they also saw with their knowing that he was going to be a king. That's gold. That myrrh is what you bury people with. So he's buried at an early age, 33. And frankincense, because that's like incense, a prayer up to God, like what a priest would do. And he carries out the priestly role, the king role, and the death role. I didn't know why it's coming to me so deeply. But unless you choose to die to everything, then you miss out. You miss out, And so Herod, even though he was king and had this opulent palace, they found ruins and stuff. And he had all of this stuff, And he had, anyway, even though he had all of that, he was thinking in this lack mentality. He was thinking, oh, this is a threat. This is a threat to my kingdom. These 3 kings did not see it as a threat. They saw, this person will show us how to be the true king, how to be the kingliest kings and queenliest queens, if we are a queen, you could ever be in your life, C.S. Lewis says it in the Narnia books. Once a king or queen of Narnia, always a king or queen of Narnia. Oh my gosh, I just looked up, and on my desk hanging, and I didn't know why I had this. I got this a long time ago, is this prophecy from Daniel, right? And it says, "And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake," Daniel 12:1. "And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever." All right. So you can look that up and study that. It's showing up for a reason. But they followed the star, and the star is like the soul, the Christ in you that will always show you the highest truths. But if you're still holding on to the lower truths, there's not room for him. I heard this the other day. Someone said, just think of all the things you say no to, that you're saying yes to something far bigger, a far deeper love, a higher love, a deeper presence, more intimacy than you ever wanted. This is what I keep finding every time I do this on another layer. It hurts like anything because it's scary, and your egotism can flare up like Herod and be like, no, we got to go kill this. And then you go kill the Christ. You know, they went in and killed all the babies. They're called the Holy Innocents. Herod had that done after, but the wise men were warned in a dream not to go back to Herod. And so when you go into this oneness, into the deep presence, when, like Christ said, seek first the kingdom of God, and then all these things shall be added to you, you're in this fullness of abundance. All of the cravings that you thought you were going to have that were going to drive you crazy for the quote drugs that you used to go for, they turn into something different. You get fulfilled on much higher level. All right, I'm going to end this now. I wish you so much love.